96.5 The Fox, Bismarck, Mandan's classic rock station with free beer, hot wings every weekday morning, and Saturday, September 26th, the Bell Mayhews Auditorium. One of the absolute funniest comedians will be in town, and he was nice enough to join us on the phone today. Tom Green. Tom, how are you?
Good. How you doing? I'm excited to come see you guys. We're going to tell some jokes. It's going to be awesome.
Have you ever been to North Dakota before?
I have been to North Dakota. I've been there. I've not done stand-up there, I believe, but I have been to North Dakota, yeah.
Well, first off, and I don't think people realize how ahead of the curve you were in regards to the Tom Green show back in the late 90s, early 2000s. The things that people are doing now, launching their own YouTube channels and doing their own shows online and all that, that was stuff that you did like 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, it wasn't on YouTube, but it was on public access television, and I guess the similarity is that I was making television with my friends and doing it myself, and it ended up leading to us getting a big TV show on MTV, so that was really, really cool. I actually am now doing a new a talk show now on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's actually just on all social media. If you go to my website, if you go to tomgreen.com, you can watch it. It's this really crazy show we do that streams live every night from Los Angeles at 5 o'clock in Los Angeles every night. Check your time zones. Check your local time zone. But it's so much fun, and I love independent media, so we're having a great time with it.
And you just had a telethon of sorts the other day to kind of support Webovision.
Yeah. So it's like I really believe that independent media is the future, where viewers, rather than watching television in the traditional sense, they can go directly to people that they're a fan of. If they're a fan of mine, or if they're a fan of my guests, they can watch this talk show every night and basically own a piece of the talk show, or be able to watch the talk show exclusively by subscribing. It's basically like being a subscriber to a magazine. And so whereas cable can cost you $100 a month or more, this is like $5.99 a month, and you go to this site called connectpal.com/Tom Green, and basically you can get access to all this content and shows every day, and then we also put up like tons of rare content, old crazy episodes of my show. It's this crazy little world that I'm basically creating, and we got like a lot of really, really great fans who are basically keeping the show in the air, and it covers the costs of production. And
the guests you have, it's not just celebrities that you have on. I mean, I think last night you had guys who just eat disgusting foods and puke.
Yeah, and they're actually huge YouTubers themselves. So it's kind of like I'm trying to support and put on air a lot of the people that are on YouTube that you don't see on mainstream TV. But some of these people have like literally tens of millions of subscribers on YouTube and tens of millions of fans around the world on the internet. So it's interesting. There's the people that you don't necessarily see on all the mainstream talk shows actually have huge social media followings, and everybody knows who they are. The guys last night were called Reckless Eating, and they've got a hilarious YouTube channel. The night before I had this guy who is named King Batch, who's from Vine. He's a hilarious Vine comedian. You'll probably see him in movies in a few years and television shows and things like this. So it's kind of a very fun, exciting environment. People should just go to tomgreen.com. They can watch there. They can also watch clips on my Facebook and on Instagram and my Twitter and on YouTube.
Joined on the phone by Tom Green. He will be at the Bell Mayhews Auditorium Saturday, September 26th. Tickets on sale right now, jadepresents.com. Now, Tom, when people hear that Tom Green is coming to town to do stand-up comedy, they might be a little surprised because they're used to the antics, the crazy stuff that you did on TV. So to hear that you're doing a stand-up show might be surprising to some people, but you actually started out as a stand-up at like the age of 15.
Yeah, I mean it shouldn't surprise people too much. If you know me from doing crazy stuff on TV, just come see my stand-up show. I'm going to do some crazy stuff live. It's going to be really ridiculous and fun. I mean, my stand-up show is in some ways, if you love stand-up, you're going to love the show. I'm doing stand-up. I'm talking my mind. I'm speaking my mind. I'm talking about the world we're living in. I'm talking about crazy things that are happening and things that I think are ridiculous, and making observations and doing crowd work. And I've been touring the world really for the last 10 years, basically doing stand-up, traveling around the world, doing hundreds and hundreds of shows every year. So it's a very refined and polished act, that is going to have you laughing, and people are going to have a good time. It's going to be a great show.
Do you remember doing your first ever stand-up set?
I do, yeah. I was 15 years old. It was a few years ago. But I do remember it. I don't remember any of the jokes specifically, but I do remember that it was a very exciting time. I remember rehearsing for the show and writing the jokes and getting ready for it. And, it was a it was a very exciting time for sure.
How difficult was it to win over an audience as a stand-up comedian at the age of 15?
It was harder. It was harder. My first show went pretty good, but it was nothing compared to what it is now, where I actually have a lot more of an understanding of what it is that I want to say. And as an adult, you have more opinions. You understand the way people think more in the audience, and you're able to relate more to people and connect with people. So it's definitely. Not to mention, I have great fan base all around the world who come out to my shows, so people already know that it's going to be funny. Whereas the hardest part when you're starting out is you get up on stage and you have to prove yourself to people right away. Whereas now I have an audience full of people that are expecting it to be hilarious. So it's definitely more fun and easier now, but you got to start somewhere, and I definitely enjoyed doing it when I was a kid too.
Joined on the phone by Tom Green, Saturday, September 26th at the Bell Mayhew Auditorium. Of course, people kind of know how you got your start on TV. You set up the cable access show in Canada. It then gets picked up by MTV. How did the whole MTV thing come about?
Well, I was doing the show, like I said, on television in Canada. It was on public access TV. It was my friends and I. We were just making up this crazy show, and I sent videotapes to everybody, and MTV saw them and loved it. And it was before people were running around with video cameras on their cell phones and editing on their computers. It was before all of that. So we were sort of the most sort of ambitious public access TV show around in the world. That we were making these kinds of, like you said, YouTube kind of pranks and stuff before that anyone else was doing that. So it really stood out, and MTV saw that and came in and supported me. So it was an amazing thing that MTV did. The people that put me on the air, it really changed my life. And now I'm having a blast. It's been 15 years since the show was on MTV. 16 years. It premiered in 1999. And now I'm doing this independent TV show and touring the world and having these amazing shows all over the country. People come out to my stand-up shows and know me from so many different things. They know me from the Celebrity Apprentice. I got fired by Donald Trump, our next president, right? They know the movies like Freddie Got Fingered and Road Trip, and they know the TV show, of course, and the internet show. So it's a real fun group of people that come out to see the stand-up show. It's not like one demographic of people coming out. It's all people of all ages and people of just who love comedy. So it's really a fun night.
And you mentioned the Tom Green Show now over 15 years old, but I got to assume that people still see you and they still associate you with that show. On any given day, how often does somebody quote the Bum Bum song or mention Slutmobile or any of the other stuff that you did on the show, even though it's 15, 16 years old now?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff is, I think, burned itself into a lot of people's collective memories. It's really 15 years ago isn't that long ago when you think about it. It's like it's when people were in high school, when people were in college. They were watching the show and you remember the things that you were doing at those times. And it really affects people's lives. So I can't really go out without running into people every day, constantly. People come up to me and talk about those clips and the Bum Bum song and the Slutmobile and Freddie Got Fingered and Daddy, Would You Like Some Sausage? And it's hilarious. It's really been an amazing thing for my life. It's like I can't really go anywhere in this country without knowing people everywhere. Everywhere I go, I know people everywhere, and I love it. So it's why I love touring. It's why I like getting up on stage. It's really a fulfilling thing. That it's really it makes me feel great to see how much fun everybody's had watching the comedy over the years, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to doing that up there with you guys in North Dakota. We're gonna have a blast.
When the show was at its height and you were at the top of the comedy heap, what was the coolest thing you had the chance to do? I mean, you co-hosted the Late Show. You filled in for David Letterman. You got to do all this cool stuff. What was the biggest thing that you got to do?
I'd say some of those things you mentioned. Like I got to guest host David Letterman, like you mentioned. That was certainly unexpected and exciting. I didn't know that that I was ever going to get to do that, because people didn't do that. And I got a call one day from David Letterman's producers, and they said, "Do you want to host Letterman tomorrow?" So that was just sort of an incredible thing. Getting to host Saturday Night Live was something that was just amazing, and I never really had imagined doing that. So, it was cool. I mean, for the most part, though, the thing I'm most amazed at and excited by is the fact that I've gotten to continue doing comedy and making my own television network now. If you go watch this show, it's really kind of an amazing thing. I've built my own studio, and that's in some ways the biggest thing I've ever gotten to do. I am in complete control of this show, and people can go watch this crazy show. It can't get canceled, and it's a whole new kind of television that right now, literally right now, at this very moment, we're in the middle of inventing something that I think is going to define the way television is made for the next 50 years. People should really check it out. Support the channel, subscribe to us, go to connectpal.com/Tom Green, which is our subscription service. That's where you can watch a lot of these shows and these crazy videos and crazy comedy clips that we've just been talking about. We're posting new shows on there every day. And, it's a blast. We're having a blast.
Joined on the phone by Tom Green, Saturday, September 26th at the Bell Mayhews Auditorium, tomgreen.com. And you've talked a lot about the shows online that you've done. I mean, you launched your channel back in like 2006. You were way ahead of everyone else, the Netflix and the Hulus and everybody getting stuff online. You were one of the first to really get this going, and now you have Webovision, and your shows are incredibly interactive. How important is it for you to have the audience involved in these shows?
Well, that's the most important thing, because if nobody's watching, then there's no reason to do it, right? So it's the most important thing, that the audience gets involved, is having fun, is laughing, enjoying the shows. You can interact. You can't interact on other shows on television. You can actually call into the show. You can be on the show. Anywhere in the country, people can get on the phone. They can get on Skype and call on video and be actually patched right into the studio, and we'll see you and talk to you. So it's a very interactive, fun thing that people who watch can actually be a part of, and I love it.
Again, go check out tomgreen.com. Check out Webovision. Subscribe. Do all that and see Tom Green Saturday, September 26th at the Bell Mayhews Auditorium. For the folks that are planning on coming to the show, Tom, what can we expect on the 26th?
We're just going to have a great time. It's going to be a hilarious night of stand-up comedy. It's going to be completely ridiculous and fun and crazy. And I definitely, at the show, I like to come out after the show and hang out, and I usually bring these insane "Daddy, would you like some sausage?" and "Bum Bum" song T-shirts that I just had made that I'll have for sale, and I'll come out and hang out with the audience after, and we'll have a good time. So it's going to be a really a nice night, and I hope everybody listening can make it.
Get your tickets Saturday, September 26th. Tom Green at the Bell Mayhews Auditorium. JadePresents.com, Ticketmaster.com, Bismarck Event Center box office. What about the future? What do you have on tap regarding maybe the online stuff? Do you have any new movies? Possibly new music? What is going to happen in the future with Tom Green?
The future is what we were just talking about. I'm building this TV studio, this show, this subscription channel, this network. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing stand-up. I have a few films that I'm working on that, aren't going to be coming out for a year or so. But I will continue doing that. I have a television show that I'm developing for traditional TV. But the main focus right now is the Webovision. So go check it out on tomgreen.com, and it's going to be a blast.
Saturday, September 26th, Tom Green at the Bell Mayhews Auditorium. Again, you're going to want to get your tickets. A very, very funny evening of stand-up comedy. And go check out tomgreen.com, Webovision, the show on right now. And you can see it every day. And who knows, maybe somebody from Bismarck will Skype in tonight.
Yes, Skype in, Bismarck. Skype in, tomgreen.com. Skype us tonight live.
Tom, thank you so much, man. We'll see you on the 26th.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you.